Look, I get it. You're bored of conventional physical attackers. You've octosnaked more times than you can count. And if you hear one more yeah, you're gonna lose it. Well, look no further than magical attackers to mix up your daily DPS. They were unfortunately pretty awful online in Yokai Watch 2, but casters have returned to their former glory in blasters thanks to the entirely new gameplay system. This was originally going to be a conventional top 5, but it turns out there are a lot of good fire users, and if you try to take a team of 4 Komashuta into battle against Ultra Gargaros, well, to quote my boy Ness from Earthbound, you're gonna have a bad time. That's why each of my 5 picks is from a different element, so you can choose which caster to use depending on the boss you're fighting. They're all solid choices, but they're still ranked from worst to best, so after many requests from you guys, it's time to talk about the top 5 mages, casters, technical attackers, whatever you want to call them, we're talking about them right here, right now. If you like this video and you're interested in daily blasters content, like live streams where I play with viewers like you, tutorials, and in-depth analysis videos like this one, make sure to subscribe. If you do, you can enter my new giveaway for a free copy of Yokai Watch Blasters. All you gotta do is subscribe and click the link in the description. You get to choose which version, red cat or white dog, physical or digital, you get. Factors I consider in my top 5 yokai videos include stats, such as how one stat compares to the rest of the cast or their base stat total, their skill, their moves, and how easy they are to obtain. Of course, number 1 doesn't care if they're the hardest to get, but at number 5, I made a point of including yokai that are accessible to beginners. Also, with Moon Rabbit Crew coming tomorrow, keep in mind this only applies to the base Red Cat and White Dog games. That's because all of the Moon Rabbit Crew yokai stats are super crazy, but none of those yokai are available until extremely late in the game, so they'll be discussed in their own videos. You'll need to use some of the yokai in my top 5s in order to actually get them. Since he's so easy to obtain, the classic Bony Spirits general, Arachnus, is coming in at number 5. His tier 1 spirit stat is super high. He has a 50 base power earth technique, and he even has a dodge to keep himself safe. There are a few factors that make him a solid choice of mine. He's super easy to obtain right after clearing the game. All you have to do is keep clearing the mission where you fight him until he joins you. Plus, his skill is perfect for beginners too. His move gauge fills at any time he gets hit, and newer players are gonna get hit a lot right after casting their techniques. To tie it all together, Robonyan 28, a powerful boss fought right after Arachnus' mission, is weak to the earth element. If you're looking to get started with casters, Arachnus is a great one to start with. Casters have a lot of good equipment to choose from, and the best choices even change from yokai to yokai. Before I say any more though, I'd like to apologize for a mix-up in my healer video. The Gutsy Bones ring is the one that boosts healing, not Glitzy's. Oops. Anyway, casters don't quite deal damage as quickly as physical attackers, but the upside to that is the large interval between attacks that allows them to stay safe when carefully combined with the range on their techniques. Because of this, you really shouldn't be getting hit as much as a physical attacker will, so there's no issue with taking the ultimate magic gear that reduces defensive stats. Arachnus should absolutely use the 400 Spirit Creator's Wand made from Ultra Hinozol and Cat Cradle parts. Yeah, it's not easy to get, and takes away 50 defense when equipped, but it gives an insane amount of spirit, and also grants the holder the ultimate skill for magical attackers: Penetrate. Returning from Yokai Watch 2, this skill does more than what the description states. It both nullifies enemies' elemental resistances, allowing you to use your favorite caster regardless of the boss, and grants a bonus plus 50% damage against targets weak to your element, making you deal double damage. For example, an Arachnus holding an equipment that grants Penetrate will deal full double damage against Robonyan 28 instead of just dealing plus 50%. It's pretty amazing. This wand is only available once you've made a ton of progress in the game, but don't worry, a weaker alternative is available. The 305 Spirit Diamond Ring can be made from Glitzy Bones parts, grants a bonus 85 defense to boot, and gives Penetrate just like the Creator's Wand. It's the perfect mid-game stepping stone as you work your way up to Ultra Hinozol. For souls, there's really only one soul any caster should be using, the Robonyan 28 Boss Soul. Base 50 strength techniques, or 40 in the case of Reaper, take an ungodly amount of time to charge, but the Robonyan 28 soul greatly shortens charge time. This means more frequent attacks, which means more damage. If you can't beat Ultra Robonyan 28 yet, a weaker but easier to get alternative is the Squeaky Soul. Unlike the previous two top 5s, our number 4 today is quite difficult to get. Available only as a 3% drop rate against his Ultra form for a team of 4 white dog players, it's Ogreless. The blue Oni returns hungry for viability, and he finally gets to eat Shogunyan's favorite meal. His skill Oni Up is a Robunyan 28 soul in skill form. His spirit stat is fantastic, and he has access to both water techniques. Unfortunately, these two moves are really the only ones worth taking that he has access to, which cements his place in number 4. Creator's Wand is an obvious pick for equipment, but with a built-in Robunyan 28 soul, what should you take for your actual soul if you don't want to be redundant? Personally, I recommend the Hinozal Boss Soul, which greatly boosts the power of the move you have on your X button. Equip Rapids to the X button and enjoy your free boost in damage. It's pretty potent and a great soul to be able to use without missing out on the essential charge speed boost that every caster needs. Ogreless is strong, but not a particularly surprising choice. After all, he's an Oni. Ogra, am I right? But number 3? Number 3 is going to surprise you. Komashura's spirit stat is the best in the game, but his skill is awful. And in Yokai Watch, having an awful skill is just inexcusable. The Legend Komashura just isn't the best. His skill is utterly useless, giving a fire element property to his physical attacks, which he should never, ever be using. That's why, on a list limited to 1 yokai per element, Komashura did not make it. Instead, it's his fellow Komainu, Komasan S, that did. I love Komasan S. I think he's seriously amazing. His spirit may be noticeably less than Komashura's, but his skill turns the tables. When Komasan S is low on health, he gets a permanent boost to all stats until he heals, by purposely dropping to 1 HP using a getaway plush. A skilled player can take advantage of the boost in speed to avoid getting hit again, while dishing out greater damage than Komashura could ever hope thanks to the boost in spirit. Dubbed Danger Koma by its progenitor Swithe, this strategy will have you saying, "I like that jump," in stats. The rest of Komasan S's kit is fantastic as well. If you're playing by yourself, you can take the classic fall back attack for crazy invincibility shenanigans, but if you're playing with a team, you can increase your team's damage output by 33% by eliminating the need for a dedicated healer. Why? Because Komasan S has Paradise too. He's got it all, so slap a Creator's Staff and Robunyan 28 Soul on him and go wild. Komasan S is a daily battle that can be accessed after linking Fleshy Souls with your Blasters game, and you can only recruit 1 per game, so be careful when trading him. I believe number 2 is our first Crankakai exclusive in a top 5. I alluded to his inclusion in the comments of a previous top 5, and here he is, high up on the list. Frosttail has consistently been a fantastic caster throughout the Yokai Watch series, and Blasters is no exception even without Sense of Smell, since Frosttail's new skill, Charge Ahead, gives him increased charge speed. My favorite thing about Frosttail is his ability to really lay on the damage. His spirit stat is amazing, of course, as it must be to be in a top 5. He can use the Hinozal Soul without penalty, and on top of that, he also has access to Offensive Stance, an on-command temporary damage boost. Frosttail is super good with the Creator's Wand, but he's annoyingly difficult to get since he's exclusive to the Crankakai. Frosttail also knows Dodge and Hail, but you really want to be taking Offensive Stance on Y and Frost on X. There's no stronger loadout than that when combined with the Hinozal Soul. There are actually 6 elements in Yokai Watch, excluding Drain, and this is a top 5, so we're kind of at an evolution of no way here. So what I'm gonna do is have a yokai tie for second with Frosttail, but mention them after him since they're a little better. Oof, what's that awful smell? I think I smell a localized name. That's right, that smell is the best wind element yokai in the game, not Master Nyada, and that's all thanks to her skill. Returning from Yokai Watch 2, Enra Kai's skill makes her Soultimate gauge feel super fast. As with most Soultimates in Blasters, her Soultimate is quite powerful, and she can charge it even faster when holding a Robunyan 28 Soul, which lets her spam techniques faster. The reason why she ranks above Frosttail is an interesting one though. She can take advantage of the Wind God's Staff, a rank 5 Dame Demoda wand with 60 less spirit than the Creator's Wand. Why would you want to use a weaker wand though? Well, as the name suggests, the Wind God wand gives a massive boost in damage to wind element moves. The Penetrate skill given by the Creator's Wand is useless against any boss that isn't weak or resistant to wind, but having both the Wind God wand and the Creator's Wand makes Bad Nema super flexible and always capable of dealing bonus damage no matter who she's up against. But who could be even better than her? The king of this top 5 is another mysterious Crank-a-kai exclusive, King Mara. His skill, Charge Ahead, is the best for any caster, and he has a top tier spirit stat, access to lightning, the base 50 power lightning technique, and the big kicker here, access to the insanely overpowered fallback attack, which grants the user almost a full second of invincibility when used. It's super broken, and very abusable by a ranged attacker that wants to avoid getting hit at all costs. The Hinozalt Soul is an obvious choice for King Mara, but the real, scales-tipping reason why King Mara is the best of the best of the best is his lightning element. Why? This allows him to make use of the Thunder God Wand, a different rank 5 Hinozalt staff with 370 spirit, a whopping 30 more than the Wind God Wand, that also gives a massive boost in power to all lightning moves. King Mara isn't just extremely strong with the perfect kit, he also has access to the most powerful selection of bonus damage equipment out there, enabling him to fight with boosted damage against any foe, and that is why King Mara is my king of casters. A big thanks to anyone who watched this video if they did indeed watch the whole thing. These videos are not easy to make, but they're my favorite kind. If you appreciate all the effort I put into this, make sure to like, make sure to comment with your favorite caster, and of course, subscribe for more Daily Blasters content, including live streams, top 5s like these, and ultra difficulty solo no teammates, no damage runs against all big bosses. Don't forget to join my partner Discord with over 1,700 members at discord.gg/101leafy, and follow me on Twitter at 101leafy for the newest updates and to chat all things Yokai Watch.